Hi friends, how you doing? So today I want to talk about an aspect of the Buddha Dharma, the Buddha's teachings, Buddhism I guess you could say, that has been really helpful for me. And it's a basic aspect. If you Google this topic, you'll get lots of different things about it. But man, is it so helpful. So the concept is the five hindrances. And in short, the five hindrances are like anger, desire, laziness, agitation, and afflictive uncertainty. And actually, they get translated in a bunch of different ways. And the laziness one is translated often as sloth and torpor. I don't find that very helpful. But anyway, there's a lot of different translations. Different people will translate them differently, and there's a lot of good reason to do so because each of these five hindrances is very deep, and every single one of us has almost an infinite experience of these hindrances. So today, oh yeah, and also they're called hindrances because they're what hinder your meditation. And if you look at what the Buddha is recommending in the Pali Canon, he's really encouraging people to meditate in order to progress on the path towards freedom from suffering. And Buddhism includes moral, like, there's sila, right? There's morality that's related to Buddhism, but everything is aimed towards the extinguishing of human suffering. That's the whole purpose of Buddhism. You probably already know that. But at any rate, these five hindrances are what hinder your meditation. But not just that, they're actually just sort of the crappy parts of our life in general. I would say every single, I think it's an exhaustive list. Every single one of our negative emotions, negative mind states, can be summed up or can be slotted into one of these five hindrances. So not only do they hinder our meditation, but they also hinder everything else. Like they hinder our relationships. When you're in the grip of one of these five afflictions, you're definitely an unpleasant person to be around. And it will destroy the quality of your life. It'll destroy the quality of your relationships. And like I said, every single person has a huge amount of experience with each of these emotions or each of these mind states. And so that's kind of why they get a lot of different interpretations or a lot of different translations, because each one of them is so deep and has so many facets to it that you can translate it in a bunch of different ways and be right in each translation. Okay, so today I want to talk about anger one. I think it's usually in the traditional list, I think it's actually the second hindrance. The first one I think is desire. I think anger comes second. But what's meant by anger really is aversion, to be averse to something, to be against something, to be anti. Or another translation I've seen often is malice, like hatred, ill will. And anger is just really good shorthand because most people I know, I think most people, find it pretty easy to know when they're angry, or the word thinking, like asking yourself, am I angry? You can sense those attendant, like the constriction, the heat, the narrowing of focus. Anger, I think, is helpful because the word anger, translating it as anger, is helpful because sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to be like, am I experiencing malice right now? Et cetera, et cetera. Anger is just much more ready to hand. It's at touch, you know? But really, I think the best translation is aversion. It's to be averse to something. And you can have aversion towards people, like people you don't like, for instance, people that do things that annoy you. Annoyance, there'd be another good one, because annoyance is, but all of these different words that I'm using right now come within this first or second hindrance. I consider it the first hindrance because it's the easiest to get rid of, supposedly. And it's also, I think, kind of the most destructive. I certainly struggle with it. And this, considering it as a hindrance, has made it so much more obvious for me to address. So, what the Buddha and what Buddhism, Buddha Dharma is recommending is that we are very aware of when we're angry and to eliminate it, to destroy it. And that's what's different about maybe like positive psychology and the Buddha Dharma, is that, or one of the things that's different, is that the goal in Buddhism is to destroy the mental hindrances. And an enlightened being, the Buddha or an Arhat or a Vijaydhara or something like that, an enlightened being doesn't experience the mental hindrances. They are completely eradicated. An enlightened person in Theravada is called an Arhat, and that literally means like a foe destroyer, someone who's destroyed all their foes. And the foes are these 5 mental hindrances. And they're foes, like I said earlier, because they destroy your happiness, they destroy your peace, and they guarantee that you will continue suffering until you destroy them. So the goal is not to know your anger and get in touch with your anger. That's only the first step. To be aware of the anger is only the first step. And really, there's lots of different antidotes you can apply. There's ways of getting rid of your anger, of sort of rationalizing. Like, let's say someone does something that you don't like. You can imagine that they act that way because of how they were raised. There's ways of working through this kind of stuff. It can be very helpful. But the most important thing when it comes to anger is that it doesn't feel good. And anyone who's experiencing anger is suffering. And we don't like to suffer. A lot of people think that they have to feel anger, that they have no choice, or that it's righteous anger. It's good to feel angry because it allows you to get something done, like it gives you energy or something like that. But I would suggest that that is a mistaken belief. And it's really a matter of what fuel you're using. Like, you can use anger to accomplish things. Like, I know people who get really angry and go to the gym and like work out, but they won't achieve the same results as someone who truly enjoys going to the gym. There's better fuel to use than anger. And anger is always an unpleasant experience. If you haven't found that out for yourself, then the next time you're angry or you're averse or have malice, then just take a minute if you can, and look inside the body with your awareness, with your consciousness. Bring your focus inside the body and feel the attendant sensations that come along with anger. Are you constricted? Does it feel good? Sincerely ask yourself if it feels good. Once you've determined, as I believe you will, or already have, that anger always feels negative, you'll have a really good reason to get rid of it. And it's interesting because the hindrances prevent you from meditating or make it more difficult to meditate, and they destroy the quality of your life as well. But actually meditation destroys the hindrances. As I said earlier, like an enlightened being doesn't have these hindrances anymore, has destroyed them. So actually meditation is one of the most direct ways to destroy anger and to destroy the other mental hindrances as well. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share today. Something I'm still working on, but I know it's possible to live life without anger, to be averse to nothing. And that may seem strange, but it's not required that you're against anything to make changes or to be a positive person, to have really beneficial effects. Anyway, like I said, that's what I've got today. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.